How many of you have ever felt a fire inside, knowing you were made for more, but kept playing it safe, playing it small, or not even playing at all? How about this? Have you ever walked into a room full of people and thought, well, they must have made a big mistake letting me in? Hmm. Have you ever said yes to something kind of big while your inner voice whispered, you're not ready. You can't do this. You don't belong. Me too. Me too. Well, the ticket in my hand felt small, but the fear I was carrying didn't. I mean, how hard could it be? It was a 1 day women's conference. I'll sign in, sit in the back, take great notes. It'll be fine. After all, Kelly will be here. Kelly was someone I just met at a monthly entrepreneur event. She offered me a free ticket. She said she'd be one of the speakers, but really that's all I knew. And deep down, I didn't want to go. It had already taken everything I had just to show up at the event I was at. Why am I doing this to myself? Do you ever feel like you're putting yourself on trial, judging every move, second guessing every choice? That was me. And I stood frozen outside the door. My heart was racing, wondering why something so small felt so overwhelming. But this fear wasn't new. As far back as I can remember, I'd always been shy. I was the kid who knew the answer, never raised her hand, afraid to say the wrong thing, stumble over my words, or be laughed at. Even when I was sure, I stayed quiet. I didn't want to stand out, even though I secretly longed to belong, to be one of the kids who got it right, who felt like they truly fit in. But my lack of confidence was so obvious. The other kids sensed it. I was always the last kid picked for kickball, the first one tagged out. And it didn't just sting, it settled in like a quiet confirmation that I wasn't enough. And it left me feeling more unworthy to speak up, to be seen, to be chosen. Who's ever felt like you're on the outside looking in? Mhm. Like there's something that's just different about you. Mhm. I was introverted, a deep thinker, someone who spent more time observing than participating. I compared myself to others constantly and always came up short. I wanted to belong, but never really felt like I did. Still, beneath all that fear and silence, something in me stirred, a quiet longing to become who I was meant to be, even as I kept shrinking, blending in, disappearing. Well, finally, I got the courage to grab the door handle and walk inside. A sea of women filled the lobby, chatting near the checkout table, 15 yards away. It felt like 5 miles. 10 steps in, I finally remembered to breathe. Everyone here, take a deep breath in. Now let it out slowly. Nice. So I reached registration, grabbed my name tag and notebook, and wove my way through the crowd to a seat in the back corner, safe. I opened the binder, scanned the agenda, 5 speakers, 4 breakout rooms. Are you kidding me? After each talk, we'd have to find 3 other people we hadn't met before to mastermind? Wow, the words landed hard, too hard. Heat rushed to my cheeks. A voice in my head screamed, leave now, no one will notice, no one will care. Honestly, I couldn't move. I was paralyzed, caught between the door I walked through and the voice begging me to walk back out. And then the lights dimmed. And just like that, every seat filled. How many of you ever been in a room and just wanted to run? I know there's a few of you in here. Well, if I could have, I would have snapped my fingers and bing, bang, boom, poof. landed in the parking lot. Heck yeah, I wanted to run. But when I looked down my row at all those women, it felt like the universe just closed the exit. And there I was, trapped in that seat, stuck, staying, desperate to leave. A hush fell over the room as one of the organizers stepped on the stage. She grabbed the mic, welcomed everybody. She briefly walked through the day's agenda, only furthering my state of panic, then introduced the first speaker. Hey, it was Kelly. She looked nervous. Wait, is she nervous? Has anyone else ever looked at someone you thought was confident and realized they were just trying to hold it together? Because that was Kelly in that moment. And that surprised me. When I first met her, she'd come off so confident, almost cocky. She even proudly told me she was a network hoe, which I thought was odd, but still makes me smile. She seemed to own the room as she bounced from person to person to person. But now, under the stage lights, something in her energy had shifted. She looked shaken. Then she began to speak. And I got to be honest with you, I cannot remember a word she said. By that point, I was so deep in my head, my heart was racing, my stomach was tight, and I was rehearsing all the ways I was going to mess up at the breakout sessions. After she finished, we were dismissed for a quick 5-minute break before the next speaker and group mastermind. And as the row began to clear, I saw my chance to bolt. But then Kelly caught my eye. She walked over, smiling, genuinely happy I'd come. She leaned in slightly. She was about to confess something, and then she admitted she was nervous. Speaking like this wasn't something she often did, but her mentor had encouraged her to step out. And then she said it, slowly, with intention. I do it because I have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And in that moment, something inside me shifted. Comfortable being uncomfortable. What does that even mean? Comfortable being uncomfortable. Comfortable being, hey, I run when I'm uncomfortable. I don't know about you. No fight, all flight. I hide, I shrink, I stay silent. But Kelly didn't. She stood there, nervous, and she still did it. How many of you know you've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable in order to be seen, in order to get what you want, in order to do the thing that you were meant to do? Well, I couldn't shake it, so I kept repeating it like a mantra. Comfortable being uncomfortable. Comfortable being uncomfortable. And then you know what happened next? Kara, didn't leave. I sat down, I took a breath, and when it came time for the group sessions, I very uncomfortably, skin crawling, turned to the woman sitting next to me and asked if she wanted to be my partner. You know what she said? Do you know what she said? She said yes. And that might not sound like a big deal, but for the girl who was always picked last and feared rejection, that yes meant everything. Well, 2 others joined us. We introduced ourselves, and just like that, it began. And then everything unfolded. Did the day get easier? Not really. But I stayed, and that was enough. When the event ended, the woman who walked out the door wasn't suddenly more articulate, and she didn't miraculously become more outgoing or conquer every single fear. Certainly not in an afternoon. But she was different in a good way, because for the first time in a long time, she showed up. What about you? Are you willing to show up, even if it's uncomfortable, just to see what might be on the other side? Are you willing to step into that scary place that's been whispering to you, telling you, hey, it's time. It's time to stop playing small. It's time to take your next step. It's time to own the space where your voice matters and your impact begins.